Karnataka has more UNESCO World Heritage Sites than any other state in India, yet most people couldn't even point to it on a map. Today, we're exploring how this hidden gem became India's perfect blend of ancient wisdom and cutting-edge innovation.
That's fascinating. And you're right. I think many people overlook this region. What makes Karnataka such a unique cultural crossroads?
Well, imagine walking through Bengaluru's tech corridor, where over 3,500 startups are reshaping India's future. Then turning a corner to find a 12th century temple where ancient astronomical calculations are still perfectly aligned with the solstice. The book shows how Karnataka has mastered this delicate dance between past and present.
That's quite a contrast. How did this remarkable blend of old and new come about?
You know, it's really interesting. The book traces this pattern back through centuries. Like, take the Vijayanagara Empire, they were technological innovators of their time, creating advanced irrigation systems we still use today. That same spirit of innovation just evolved into today's tech hub. The state has this amazing ability to absorb new influences while keeping its cultural core intact.
Well, that's exactly what makes it so special, this organic evolution, rather than a forced modernization. What about the cultural aspects?
Oh, let me tell you about something remarkable. Karnataka has 28 different dance forms, each telling stories that go back generations. But here's what's really cool. These traditional art forms are being preserved using AI technology. There's this project where they're creating digital archives of Yakshagana performances, complete with motion capture data.
That's such a creative use of technology. How does this cultural preservation extend to other areas?
Well, take the cuisine, for example. The book describes how traditional dishes like Mysore Pak, which was originally created in the royal kitchens of Mysore Palace, are now being studied by food scientists to understand their nutritional properties. They're finding that these century-old recipes actually align perfectly with modern dietary recommendations.
So, if we're looking at the bigger picture here, what makes Karnataka's approach to modernization different from other regions?
You know what's really unique? The book points out that Karnataka didn't just leap into the future, they built bridges. Like in Hampi, they're using virtual reality to show visitors how the ancient city looked in its prime, while traditional storytellers share oral histories. It's this beautiful synthesis of storytelling methods.
That's really thoughtful integration. What about the environmental aspects?
This is where it gets really interesting. Karnataka has these ancient sacred groves called Devarakadu that have protected biodiversity for centuries. Modern scientists are now discovering that these groves often contain rare species and act as crucial wildlife corridors. It's like their ancestors were environmental scientists without even knowing it.
That's remarkable foresight from previous generations. How is this wisdom being applied today?
Well, the book shows how traditional water conservation methods are being incorporated into modern urban planning. Bengaluru's tech parks are actually designing their buildings based on ancient stepwell architecture to harvest rainwater. It's like, why reinvent the wheel when you have centuries of proven solutions?
That's such a practical application of historical knowledge. What do you think this means for the future?
Looking ahead, Karnataka seems to be writing a blueprint for how regions can modernize without losing their soul. The book ends with this powerful observation that true progress isn't about replacing the old with the new, but finding ways to let them enhance each other. It's about understanding that our past isn't a burden to shed, but a foundation to build upon.
That's really well put. It sounds like there are valuable lessons here for other regions facing similar challenges.
Exactly, and I think that's why this exploration of Karnataka matters so much right now. As the world grapples with questions of identity and progress, Karnataka shows us that we don't have to choose between our heritage and our future. We can have both, and they can make each other stronger.